Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. I don't know if I should share with you what just happened. For anyone who watches this video for the first time, they're going to think I'm a crazy person. But for anyone who watches my channel, they might find this interesting. I just got done starting this video, but then all of a sudden I had this horrible coughing spell. And I had to just stop the video recording. And I just finished saying the word King James when I just started coughing. And when I stopped the video recording, I can't, for any of you guys who think I record my videos to certain lengths, I do not. My setup is the computer screen you see. I just, there's no notes around here or anything. There's no extra timers. Nothing going on my cell phone. When you touch your cell phone, the screen comes on. But anyway, I just always freeball it, and sometimes the numbers come out magically. Well, anyway, as I stopped the video, because I just realized I was going to start over because I just gotten into it, I just said the word King James, right? King James in Gematria sums to 89, and when I stopped the video, it was 1:29 long, or 89 seconds. Remember last year, LeBron James won on the real King James's birthday, June 19th, 2016. The Warriors, who were defeated, lost with 89 points. Anyway, that just tripped me out. But last night I put up this post real quick on my blog. I actually got scolded by my girlfriend for making this blog post. She really wanted me to come to bed right after I finished my radio show. I have a radio show every Wednesday night. And as soon as I finished the radio show, I have to put up a little quick blurb about the show so it can be promoted on the website. And after I do that, it takes about 10-15 minutes. After that, she wanted me to come right to bed. She was real tired, and my girlfriend has to get up early, and she's cold without me in there. So anyway, she wanted me to come right to bed, and when I finished, I said, just give me 3 minutes. And it only took 3 minutes to put this blog post together, but for these 3 minutes, I got scolded. So please appreciate this knowledge. There's something very special about these numbers and the reason they're coded into these basketball games and whatever sort of influence they have over us in this world. I'm just tripped out because it really just happened. Me saying King James and then this coughing spell come out of nowhere and then 89 seconds on the video. I was like, what is going on? But look at this. Look at this. Last night's game, LeBron James, big win over the Boston Celtics. Notice the Cavs improved to 51-27. The Celtics, they fell to 50-28. Both teams came in with 50 wins. Both teams came in with 50 wins. Very special number. In numerology, 50 is 5. Think about how basketball is a game of 5-on-5. But anyhow, the Cavs improved to 51-27. Celtics fell to 50-28. For both teams, it was their 78th game. We're going to talk about the significance of 78 in regards to Cleveland in the NBA Finals. But let's start right here. Notice, first quarter, Cavs scored 19, then they scored 38 for a total of 57 in the first half. Then in the third quarter, they scored 33. In the fourth quarter, 24, another sum of 57. If you followed my work last year, I said why the Cavs would win the NBA Finals before the season began, why they would defeat the Warriors in a rematch. If you missed my work from a year earlier, I wasn't as good at this back then, but I knew enough. And after the game played in February between the Warriors and Cavs, I said the NBA Finals would be those two teams. There was a huge tribute to Nate Thurmond. Nate Thurmond from the same town, Akron, Ohio, that Steph Curry and LeBron James are from. Anyhow, there was a huge clue. You can go back and watch my work from then. The videos are still up. But I said it would be Warriors-Cavs that year, and I thought the Cavs would win, honestly. I thought it was just more about Ohio and LeBron and the Cavs and his return there. But they made him earn it the next year. That's why the next year I was positive he was going to win. And I figured out my mistake from the year earlier. But if you go back and watch the video from 2014, the first Warriors-Cavs prediction, 114 was a huge part of it. The name LeBron James in the language of Gematria using the alphabetic order sums to 114. Half of that, 57, how many points scored in each half? That's the number that's connected to sports championships. We're going to talk more about it. from the NFL to baseball to basketball and beyond. 57 is a championship number. Last year I pointed out at the end of the regular season the Cavs finished with 57 wins, the championship number. I even suggested they might finish with 57 as the season neared. I said that would be a sign they'd probably go on to win the finals, as I've been saying since before the season began. It all came true. LeBron ended up winning on the real King James's birthday. But look at this, 114-91. Now, I have been saying all year since Game 1 that we're going to see the Cavs back in the finals and very likely against the Warriors again. I think there's even a strong chance the Cavs win. If there's any team to upset the Cavs, there's been clues left that it could be the Celtics. But I think these clues are foreshadowing the Eastern Conference Finals between these two teams, and I suspect the Cavs will prevail, perhaps in the most dramatic of fashion like last year's. Remember, we had the Warriors come back from 3-1, then we had the Cavs come back from 3-1, and last year I got trolled and heckled when both those teams were down 3-1 because I said it was going to be Warriors and Cavs again, and people thought I was wrong. A lot of people made a lot of money because I said when the Cavs were down 3-1, it was the time then was to bet on the Cavs because the odds were so huge in their favor, and it was all scripted for LeBron winning on the real King James's birthday. And maybe King James is getting his revenge from the grave, making me choke today with 89 seconds into the video. But look at this. 114 corresponds with LeBron James. The Cavs won by 23. LeBron wears 23. The word king equals 23. LeBron James, nicknamed King James, the face of the league. With regards to it being the 78th game for both teams, Cleveland 78, NBA Finals 78, the Cavs became the first team to win a Game 7 on the road since 1978. The last team to do it, the Washington Bullets, over the Seattle Supersonics in Washington State. What's interesting is in 78 and 2016, both of those championships were played on the 122nd meridian. Seattle, Washington's on the 122nd, and so is Oakland. But also, in this language gematria, Boston Celtics 78 and Cleveland Cavaliers 78. And it was the 78th game for both teams. They both came in with 50 wins. 50. Notice how 50 sums to 66? The King James Bible is 66 books in length. LeBron equals 66. LeBron James in reverse reduction is also 66. All of these methods are intertwined. LeBron James's first career game against the Sacramento Kings, look up the article. He played exactly 42 minutes, and it was a date with 42 numerology, the introduction of LeBron James. This is a very special number to the Freemasons, and it's Freemasonry that created American basketball. There's also an important cipher you should know about. It's one I've taught about for 2 years. It was the first cipher I learned in addition to full reduction and English ordinal, the most basic methods. But the word king in Jewish gematria is also 66. Think about that in light of LeBron James, King James, 66 book Bible. Last year, LeBron became the first player to go to 6 straight NBA Finals since 66. When he played with the Miami Heat, he wore 6. You know, you never seen my older videos. There's a lot of parallels in these numerical riddles that come straight from the Bible. The Bible ritual, or riddle, if you will, with LeBron James and winning the NBA Finals and his career beginning against the Sacramento Kings, it's nothing new to the world of sports. It's what's been going on all this time. It's just it's becoming more and more blatant and more obvious, almost as if a mocking and a test to see if the people are awake or totally asleep. You know, these contrived sports leagues serve a lot of purposes. So also, a point I want to make about this. In the language of gematria, NBA sums to 17. Ohio is the 17th state in order of statehood. The Cleveland Cavaliers also happen to be the 17th team to have joined the NBA. The city of Boston, the Celtics, have won the most NBA championships, 17. In baseball, MLB equals 27. The Yankees have won the most, 27. So anyhow, the Celtics have won 17. Ohio, the 17th state, 17 team to join the NBA. Here we are in 2017. This game is synced up perfectly with the start of the NBA Finals, which we're going to get to. Real quick, though, about Cleveland getting their 51st win. I said last year before the season began, it was 51 years since the city of Cleveland had won a pro sports championship, 1964 to 2015. This is last NBA season. I said 51 connects to LeBron James in Cleveland. I said by the end of the year, it'll be 52 years. The word prophecy equals 52. We ended up seeing Muhammad Ali, named after the Prophet Muhammad, die after 52 years of being Muhammad Ali after Game 1 of the NBA Finals. Not to mention, in 2014, I said why Muhammad Ali would pass 74. But anyhow, get this. 57 points in the first half, 57 points in the second half, NBA Finals 57, the NBA Finals 57, the Cavs with 57 regular season wins last year. It's 57 days until the start of the NBA Finals, which are on June 1st this year, a fitting date to start the Finals. Finals has Gematria 61. Last year, Game 7 was on a date with 61 numerology. Do you recall? Both the Warriors and Cavs met with 610 points scored per team through the first 6 games. LeBron James came in with 181 points scored through the first 6 games. 181 is the 42nd prime. One of the most important stretches of my work in doing this gematria was during the time of the NBA Finals because there were so many ritual sacrifices. I showed how it was synced up with Prince. Remember the death of Prince from PM Dawn during the time of the NBA Finals? There were so many rituals that went down during the time of the NBA Finals, which I called out clearly, and my work was backed up. You remember that actor Anton Yelchin, who died from getting crushed by his own car? Do you remember that story? Just before Game 7, Hollywood actor in the new Star Trek movie, his own car crushed him in his driveway. I showed how he died at age 27 and had 103 birth numerology, and I showed how it was going to be the Cavs' 103rd game of the season, and the significance of 27, Revelation, the 66th book of the Bible, the 27th book of the New Testament, 3 cubed, 3 to the 3rd powers, 27. Anyway, I was explaining these things, and then lo and behold, the Cavs went on to win. I said his death was a signal that the Cavs were also going to win Game 7 in their 103rd game of the season. King James, LeBron James, goes on to score 27 points. Cavs' 103rd game of the season. This young man dead at age 27 with 103 birth numerology, crushed by his own car in his driveway. I mean, how nonsensical a story is that? If he's really dead, I mean, it's very clear that these people are being murdered. Either that or they're faking their deaths. You know, I only know so much. I see the ritual in numbers and how it's all part of the big show that all comes through the mainstream media. Remember the Cavs? They won Game 7, the final game, with 93 points. Final has that gematria of 93, just like Oracle Arena. The number for Saturn, the keeper of time. All things we talk about again and again. Saturn has that 42 gematria that's so special as well. But anyhow, 57 is just this championship number. The Patriots just won the Super Bowl in their 57th season. World Series equals 57. Watch the ordinal method. If you write out 57, it sums to 131. If you write out championship, sums to 131. Just like if you write out Super Bowl. 2 years ago, I was saying why the Broncos would defeat the Panthers way before the playoffs came around. And I was showing how ESPN on their front page had a story about 57 children named after Peyton Manning. And the story was 1:31 long. And I was saying, this is all part of the ritual. This is all part of the mocking. Just watch Peyton Manning win, age 39, ride it off into the sunset. You know? I thought the work that I've been putting out and all this time and all the things that I called, I thought it would have reached the masses a long time ago. I didn't know I'd have to work this hard, honestly. But I just keep backing it up. So anyway, Cleveland Cavaliers, they're a team named appropriately for the NBA Finals. This year is the Cleveland Cavaliers' 47th season in the league. Ohio equals 47. The first NBA championship was in 47. The Philadelphia Warriors defeated the Chicago Stags. Special number there, 47. So Cavs, back-to-back NBA Finals, third championship in a row against the Warriors. If you look at NBA seasons of the past, this used to happen. The Celtics went to the Finals for a whole decade. You know, last year, let's go back to last year. The Cavs' next game is against the Hawks. Last year, I showed how the Celtics and the Hawks were used in rituals that foreshadowed the Cavs and Warriors would meet in the NBA Finals. Go back and watch the videos. I still remember what happened that day. It was the ESPN doubleheader. The Warriors were at home with a record winning streak against the Celtics. The Cavs were facing the Atlanta Hawks. That day on ESPN, it was the doubleheader. Those games, the Warriors had their 54-game winning streak snapped at Oracle. Look at the gematria of Oracle. Oracle. 54 like future telling. The Cavs earned their 54th win of the season that same day. And if you go back in history, the decade that the Celtics won every NBA championship, they only lost to one team. The Hawks. The Hawks. Interesting that the Cavs are playing the Celtics and now the Hawks, you know. You follow the patterns, you see how these same things are done in similar rituals year after year. So the Cavs would pick up their 52nd win. Last year they broke the 52-year curse for the city, no pro sports championships. Significant numbers, just like the numbers I talked about in last year's championship. Which, just thinking about, again, if I'm wrong about the Cavs, and I don't think I'll be wrong, but if I'm wrong, it's going to be the Boston Celtics who sneak into the NBA Finals. As I was documenting, after the Super Bowl, they put up a stat with Gonzaga about being 28-3, and I said, that's funny, that was the big number in the Super Bowl, the 28-3 comeback. Gonzaga, are they foreshadowing a big year for Gonzaga? And then as we followed the clues, we saw why before the tournament even began, it looked like they'd be in the championship. They had to advance over an 11 seed and a 7 seed in the Elite 8 and Final 4. That never happens. It's just college sports, pro sports, it's all such a scripted joke. You know, the college game is auditions for who can make it to the big leagues. The bigger rigging. But anyway, True Seeker, I meant for this video to be shorter. Just want you guys to see how they rig it, you know. 114-point win, 23-point margin. Speaking of last year, if you sum the numbers 1 through 13, it totals 91. Last year was LeBron's 13th season. Remember him scoring 41 points in back-to-back games in the NBA Finals, Game 5 and 6, bringing it back to 3-3. You guys want to know something? Cleveland is the only city with English reduction gematria of 33. The Cavs were the 33rd team to be down 3-1, the first ever to come back in the NBA Finals. Think about it. There's only one other city that's got the 33 connection. It's New York in reverse reduction. And even before I knew about this method, I was saying, I think LeBron's future is foreshadowed in New York. Every time he plays this team, big tributes. If you guys missed last night's radio show, I'll link this page. You can listen to last night's show. We talked about the tournament and a whole lot of other things. That's all for now, True Seeker. Until next time.